Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome back to episode 2 of Stellaris Federations. And unlike in the last video, we're in a position here where we can pretty much just get straight on. So let's go ahead and unpause the game. And now I try and remember what it was that I was doing. Essentially, we're just trying to expand at the moment. We're trying to get out in this direction so that we can not be sort of boxed in by our Federation partners here. We were building a colony ship. That is still under construction. We're going to go ahead and colonize this continental world here, Coggan 2. And in the meantime, we're also going to go and explore some stuff out in this direction. All while trying to build up our Federation, getting close to level 2. We may even be able to find some new people who we can invite. So actually, is there anything that we can change right now in our Federation that we want to do? So obviously this is just showing us what our levels are. All of our envoys are assigned. There's nothing we can really do here. We can see our members. We still have these kind of opposing ethics, which again, we can't do too much about. There is no fleet at the moment because of the our naval capacity, because of one of the laws. Which is fleet contribution. It's currently set to none. So is there anything that we can change here at the moment? So we can't change the centralization because we need to get to level 2 first, which means we cannot change the fleet contribution because even low contribution requires low centralization. Now we could change the succession type. So currently it's on rotation. So that basically means that every however long the re-election is, it rotates between different members. The presidency is rotated between member empires whenever a term ends. Or we could select random. Whenever a term comes to an end, another member is randomly chosen to become the new president. That's interesting. But we can actually select that now if we wanted to, as the current president. If centralization was low, we could have it on challenge. It requires the Federation chooses its president by challenge. May the best win. And then we've got just the strongest, but that requires level 4. There is not one for medium for level 3, which is strange. We could change a succession term. And everyone would support it if we wanted to do that. It's currently on 20 years. So it may well be worth boosting it up. The problem that you have with this, I suspect, is if we were to leave it, if we were to put this on 40 years and it gets to the end of 40 years and then somebody else becomes the, what do they call it? Do they call it the president? So if we were to put this on 40 years and then we get to the end of the 40 years, one of our allies could become the president, and then we'd have to wait possibly 40 years for the next one, and then another 40 years for it to come back round to us. That is a long time. So it may well be worth changing it now. Let's see what cost that has. Can subjects join? Cannot change laws in this category for another long time, 1,219 days. Vote weight, war declaration. So there isn't really anything else we can change other than the succession type and the succession term. I'm going to go ahead and just change this to 40 years. A failed vote will result in a negative effect. They all seem happy with it, so let's go. Actually, if I went the opposite direction and went down, yeah, so whichever way I do it, they would support it. So let's go ahead and do that then, and we'll vote yes, and then that'll set it to 40 years, and then maybe, depending on how quickly we can get XP for our Federation, maybe we'll be able to so yeah, that's on 40 years now, so maybe we'll be able to even change the succession type and get it up to challenge by the end of those 40 years. We will see. It didn't appear to have any impact on our cohesion or our experience, so that is all good. That is our, what was that? Construction ship finished building something. That is fine. And we've just finished our colony ship, so let's get you over there. Now, we don't have a massive income right now, but we certainly want to continue building up our fleet because it is very pathetic right now. So let's go ahead and reinforce the fleet. And again, we just want to keep exploring down here. We've got, so our construction ship, we've got one that is not doing anything, but we haven't got anything that we need to build. Let's get some new research. There's engineering done. Corvette hull points is probably really worthwhile having right now. There's the research one done as well. Let's get the improved energy credits. It's quicker than the shields anyway. So this science ship is finished. Oh, we've got another habitable world here. It's only got 12 slots, but it is our preferred type. Let's go ahead and get one of those construction ships, because there is one doing nothing. Let's get you over here. We don't have the alloys to build the outpost at the moment, because I just spent them reinforcing the fleet, but we definitely want to grab this, even though it's not a particularly good system, because it just has a bit of research in there. We do need to be able to move down in this direction. And it is a good choke point. I mean, that could be a pretty good place to put a star base if we wanted to stop any enemy attacks coming in from this direction. But I'm hoping that our territory expands this way a little bit more. In fact, yeah, we can't do that yet. What's that other construction ship doing? You are still... Oh, you're moving over there, are you? I've told construction ships to move around. I'm not too sure why. I've kind of forgotten what I was doing with those. Military fleets seem fine. Are you guys actually in orbit? You should be. Not sure why you're not. Oh, okay, we've got a couple of potentially habitable worlds down here. That's interesting. There's a tundra world, which is not fantastic, and a desert world. The tundra world has 23 slots, but the desert world only has 11. That's kind of disappointing, really. Right, looks like you are actually supposed to be there. Are you? I don't know. What's going on? What's happening? What am I doing? So I've got 2 construction ships over here now. Don't need 2 of them. Let's send 1 back. I didn't realize that I already had 1 there. And why can we not build this? Oh, we're actually lacking in influence. That's interesting. I'm not usually starved for influence in this game. Influence is usually something where I've got an abundance of. I've just remembered to speed this up again, actually. I was running at normal speed. So a technology has now been researched. That's our population growth speed. Excellent. Let's get the society research. That wasn't an option at the beginning, but it is now. And we have a building slot available. Now, we do have some food that we are stockpiling up. We certainly could go ahead and build one of those buildings to convert the food, the bioreactor. It's probably not worth it right now, though. But what we could do is go and get the monument, which would give us some more consumer goods. Although our consumer goods isn't terrible at the moment either. Everything right now is fairly decent. But we will have a problem with consumer goods. We don't want to turn minerals into consumer goods. Oh, culture workers for consumer goods into unity and society research. Yeah, it's influence. There's nothing here that will actually give us a boost on influence. Although unity is always worth having. Let's go ahead and build that. I think again, it's one of those buildings that might not seem like it's worthwhile now, but the earlier you get it in the campaign, the more it pays for itself, so to speak. So we need a fair bit of influence before we can go ahead and build this next outpost. Maybe this is one of the changes that they introduced in the patch with this DLC, and they've made it now so you don't gain influence as fast. I seem to remember that in my previous game, I could literally just carry on, you know, chain claiming systems forever, and there was no real limit to the speed that I could expand. So maybe they have changed that significantly. 84 days to research that, and it's quite routine. So yep, sure, let's go ahead and do that. And we have an archaeological site pending as well. Upon closer examination, the smashed droids found on the surface of 377D NY1K appear to originate from 2 distinct cultures. Technologically, the droids must have been evenly matched when they were still functional, but there are many subtle differences that hint at different design origins. Curious. So that gives us some minor artifacts, and it starts us on the next part of that excavation, so that is fine. So let's keep going with that. Our colony ship has yet to arrive at the new frontier. Actually, there it is. It's just got into the system. So let's go ahead and select the planet there. And we want to colonize, and we want to Oh, we've established communications with somebody. Excellent. You guys are egalitarian and you are xenophiles. That works well for us. Let's be friends. Interesting. Okay, so build colony ship, build colony ship, build colony ship. I don't want to build a colony ship. I already have a colony ship. You go over there and enter. I can just go colonize planet. But I wasn't sure that it used to just appear here in the list. This will automatically build a colony ship, but we shouldn't need to because we already have a colony ship. Why isn't that appearing there? Is that a bug? Or does it have to be in orbit? It used to work. Let's allow that ship to get into orbit. Yep, there we go. It's now in orbit. If we colonize, yeah, it appears there now. That's in orbit. So you are going to colonize. We'll keep the default name. I have no desire to change that. And let's get out of there. Excellent. So the first colony, and that gives us some engineering research. Can we go ahead and build this outpost now? Yes, we can. So we have just managed to get... This might be a decent system, actually. We've just managed to get some minerals down there. So yeah, we definitely want to try like grabbing stuff out here as quickly as we can. Some volatile motes down there. It's a shame that planet is so small, but you know, we do what we can. So where is our new neighbor? Our new neighbor's all the way up here to the north. Now then, is it worth speaking to these guys? We are neutral with them. They are superior. We could try and improve relations with them. Are things improving here? How can we tell? It's not changing any at the moment. Let's go ahead and improve relations. We can go ahead and bring one of the guys back from one of our, one of the guys who's sucking up to one of the guys. Words. We can bring back one of our ambassadors who's currently sucking up to one of the other guys currently already in our federation and go and suck up to these guys instead. And then maybe we could even invite them to the federation. There's probably, invite to federation. Couldn't do it at the moment because they wouldn't accept it. Because of the neutral attitude and the distance. But their opinion is also not really that useful. There's this diplomacy stance as well. This is something that's new. And diplomatic weight also is something that's quite new. So diplomatic weight is based on things like fleet power, population, economy, technology. That's a lot of population. Heck, you're massive, aren't you? How did you get big already? Are you one of those civilizations that start off like really big? They have a CB on us, an ideology CB, which is a little bit silly, but we're improving relations there. But they are cooperative. This empire will attempt to find common ground and negotiate with other empires in the name of friendship. Sending an envoy to harm relations costs influence, but we're not doing that. We're trying to improve relations. Okay. So what about the other guys here? You're cooperative. I guess the player doesn't have one because we are whatever we choose to be. And you're mercantile, so you're more likely to favor trade. Okay, that's fine. Always good to know these things. At least these guys aren't on my doorstep. They're down in, they're up in the other direction. So that's good. We have a science ship that's currently idle. Let's go make sure we're still surveying in all directions. And we'll continue to try and expand out over here. Construction ships currently being lazy. Oh no, we got this one. Yeah, we need to get this one now. I guess you can go and you might as well build the research station there. We've got a fair few minerals in the bank. An Alpine world, 13 slots. And again, not great. And this science ship is now free. So let's send you here. And would you look at that? There's another singularity there. Not really brilliant, is it? Come on, Paradox. You haven't given me the best start here, have you? You've rolled the dice poorly. That's what's happened. But it is what it is, I suppose. Now, we don't know whether or not there's any hyperlanes from these two systems. It looks like there might not be, and there isn't one here. So, this little section might be completely closed off, which means if we were to grab this one or this one here, which we undoubtedly will, we'll go back to that in a moment. So this is the Interstellar League. These are Alligatarian, but these are fanatic militarists. We say we want to be friends with them and see what happens. So yeah, as I was saying, if we can grab either of these two systems here, and there isn't a way in from this direction, that this makes a fantastic bottleneck to sort of protect our borders. That was quite quick to survey, which I actually like. So the colonization is still going on. Let's get this construction ship down here now. We are going to grab this, of course. So let's go ahead and build a starbase down there. We've got our next tradition available. Research station output isn't that useful. More research alternatives, or do we want to start getting... Right, we don't have a naval cap for the Federation anyway at the moment. Trade value could be useful. I don't really want to sort of split my unity between both of these traditions. I want to get one finished before the other. Research speed, trust cap and trust growth, free market, base trade protection. You see, it's not all that useful. I think we're going to go through this one actually and work on discovery first. We'll soon ramp up the amount of unity that we're getting anyway, so that's not too bad. Natural wormhole. We've detected what appears to be a naturally occurring subspace phenomenon on the edge of Stellaris. It's a rift. Isn't that where the security guard's from in the Orville? A rift in the very fabric of space-time has formed here, creating a wormhole. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So that is where? Down here. So yeah, and again, if this entire section of space doesn't have any other hyperlanes coming off these systems, then grabbing this would be a great little bottleneck as well. So potentially we can just grab one system and really fortify it up. Scientists has gained a trait. We've got an anomaly there that we can research in the Stellaris system. Let's go ahead and do that. Wonderful. How are things going on with our new friends here? Looks like relations are improving. Now, as far as I'm aware, having a CB against you isn't as bad as it is in EU4. It's not like a negative effect. So, new contact, bombardment policy. Is that our bombardment policy or their bombardment policy? I mean, I can probably change my bombardment policy. I don't care too much about it. Orbital bombardment. Ours is selective. Well, that's good. What would they want? Indiscriminate? That seems like the better one of the two. Not too sure there. Ancient life pod. An abandoned life pod was detected in close orbit of Stellaris 5. It's covered in scorch marks, presumably when the pod's mothership exploded. Preliminary scans suggest it was built more than 5,000 years ago. Interesting. Well, that just goes ahead and gives us some society research. And would you look at that? There's another project. These guys are expanding very quickly, and yeah, not too sure how I feel about that. Now, it might be worth improving our relations with these guys over here. Because we are neutral, they are overwhelming fleet power. Let's go and improve relations with them. And we want this ambassador. We can get more ambassadors later on. I'm pretty sure about that. I've read that somewhere. So I'm not currently improving relations with my two Federation compatriots here. We are doing it with these other guys. Wreckage identified. Our crew reports that the Horsey 2 shipwreck appears to have been the result of unexpected geomagnetic solar storm. We can grab some minerals, or we can get some influence. I'm not short on minerals at the moment. I'm going to grab the influence because that's the thing that's slowing us down from expanding, and that's something that I feel that we really need to do. So let's go ahead and get the mining stations here. We can get the energy credits at least. And we definitely want to go to the shipyard, and if we can afford it, we want to grab ourselves another colony ship. And obviously we want Ferbonites. And who is... Oh yeah, those are the guys that are happy about it. So that gave us a lot of a lot of influence there. It just didn't come in instantly. I wonder why it hadn't gone up all that much. I thought, oh, that was a pretty crap reward for turning down 300 minerals, but it does seem to have improved. And we've discovered an archaeological site, and it's with, you know, we can grab this. So we should definitely keep working our way down here. And, yeah, we've elected a new ruler. That's fine. Is it the same ruler? I think it is, actually. Okay, so what have we got going on here? We've got a science ship not doing anything, so... Oh, right, no, you had a... You're the guy that just got elected as our new leader, so we need a new scientist. Research speed on new worlds, anomaly discovery chance. Yeah, let's do anomaly discovery chance with you. So put you on that ship. You've got to then finish surveying that system, and another archaeological event pending. 377D-NY1K does not seem to have simply been a dumping ground for broken droids. It may have served as the actual battlefield where they were destroyed. There are many layers of debris, suggest a series of very intense battles waged intermittently across the better part of 2 centuries. Exactly why 2 interstellar powers would commit such vast resources towards waging a massive ground war on a small and unremarkable asteroid remains an unanswered question. Now, I've done quite a few of the archaeology sites on Stellaris since that particular feature was added in whichever expansion it was. I've not seen this one before, so I don't know whether this is a new one that has been added in the Federation's expansion, or maybe even just added as part of a free content patch alongside the Federation's expansion, but I'm not familiar with this one. And now that they've added all of these new origin stories for your races, maybe it's something to do with that as well, so that is quite cool. So we'll start working on the next one there. We're going to wrap this video up soon because we are sort of just over the 20-minute mark, but I'd just like to sort of see what else we can do. So that's going to be a decent system there. I think that one's definitely going to be worth having. It doesn't have an awful lot in terms of resources, but it does have a natural wormhole, and there's an archaeological site there. So we almost certainly want to head out in this direction first. Grab ourselves a starbase. We've got to be careful. We don't want to go... we don't want to sprawl too much here. Now, do we want to grab that 12 size arid world, or... See, the tundra world, we got 70% habitability on that. And the desert world, we've got 100%. So we could grab all of these. They're all colonizable for us. So it's probably worth having all of them. We don't want to be too greedy. We have ourselves some overcrowding on the capital. We need to get some more housing. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some mining districts. And we get ourselves a generator district as well, because that should provide some housing. You do get housing from districts. At least you normally get housing from districts. Maybe I'm just sort of thinking of civilization. I always tend to get them mixed up. But I think overall it will be fine. Everything is still running good as far as I can tell. You guys, do you like it? We're now cordial. Cordial is good. We could form a research agreement with them. They appear to be happy for that. And all of these things will sort of, you know, boost how much they like us. And we could have a commercial pact. So sure, let's go ahead and form a commercial pact. Anything that makes them like us more is probably worth having. And this should make this go up quite a bit. It's only going up by +2 at the moment, but it might increase even more. And hopefully at some point we will be able to invite them to the Federation. It was -119. It's now -62, so it's definitely getting better. Right, you finished surveying that. So it's a decent planet, and there's some energy credits there, so that's good as well. Let's get you working on those mining stations. Anything that gives us additional energy and minerals is good. So it does look like this area here is completely closed off behind our borders now. What I'm saying is no one can get to this because they'd have to come through our territory to colonize it. I mean, they still could. Anyone with open borders could theoretically come through and start colonizing this side of our space. And I don't think you can close borders to people in your own empire. This one's a little bit more tricky, but you know what? I'm going to let you go ahead and do that because you're just going to be down here researching this. So as you can see, we already have one of our Federation fellows down here. It's a science ship, though. I mean, he's not constructing anything, so I'm not bothered that he's going to grab that thing that I want. But yeah, we certainly want to make sure that they don't grab any of the stuff that we want to get. So, looks like all of this territory here is behind this star system. And that was a really quick survey. That was good. I'm almost tempted to get another science ship, but I think once this one is done up here, it can probably come out and help with the exploration. And we are right on the... Yeah, there's definitely no way in here because we're right on the outer edge of the galaxy. So that's fine. We're kind of sort of pinned against the outer edge there. But for once, I actually don't think that's a bad thing. That could work out well for us. Our colony ship is actually done. So the question is, what do we want to inhabit? I think the Tundra world, to be honest. I mean, I do want to get the others. I want to get all of them. Of course I do. That's some more society research added on there. So yeah, I do want to get all of the planets that are within my my borders, but let's go and grab the one that has the most slots first. Although it's not really that important because our growth rate is so slow right now. So our Empire Sprawl isn't too bad. We are at 40 of 50. Offer of Migration Treaty. That's from the guys that we're trying to suck up to. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's try and keep friendly with everybody. So one thing that I'm interested to try and do in this particular campaign, and this was always something difficult to do in Stellaris, and I am hoping that with Federations it's changed, is I'm hoping that there's a way to be a little bit more pacifist. It was pretty much impossible to get anywhere in a game of Stellaris without really just being a military, well, not necessarily being militarist as in having the militarist ideology, but just having to be really aggressive. Like whatever you picked, unless you were a pacifist where you couldn't declare wars, whatever sort of ideology you were playing, the best way to win this game was to attack people, or at least get them to attack you and then take stuff from them. There weren't really any diplomatic ways to win or score points, is I guess what I'm trying to say here. Traditions are available. We decided we were going down this route here. It would be nice to get that research upkeep reduction, so let's keep working down there. We'll get discovery finished first now. We're committed to that line, so that is what we'll do. You guys are working quite quickly there. We have researched the society boost, so that is good. What do we want to grab here? I'll make this the last action before ending this video because we are getting close to the 30-minute mark now. So hydroponics farms and hydroponics bays, not really all that useful to us, simply because we're not really building any farms. Now, looking at this actually, at our food production, I'm trying to find out if we are actually using any food, because our own, are we paused? Yeah, we are paused. So our own race doesn't eat food, basically. Only people living on the planet that aren't of our race. There is a way to find them. Demographics, population. So everyone that lives here actually is Furbanite. So there are no non-Furbanites on the planet. I guess that's okay. So therefore, we're definitely not using food. What I want to know is if we have people living on the planet that are non-Furbanites, or should we say non-Lithoids, so people that do need food, do we need to produce the food for them? But certainly it's not worth me investing into hydroponics right now. Monthly Unity would be very good. Ocean ecology management, that's probably not too useful. Toxic kelp we're unlikely to have on most of the planet types that we're colonizing. Naval cap and army defense is not great right now. So I definitely think it's the planetary unification that we go for in this instance. Now, we do have a little bit of a problem with consumer goods here. And by a little bit of a problem, I mean we're not producing any. Let's skip that anomaly for now because it is quite a biggie. So we'll go back and do that one later. So we could probably increase things there a little bit if we went to Vol and we could maybe focus a little bit on producing consumer goods. We actually probably somewhere have an edict we could pop for it. Where Where's the one? I was sure there was one actually. Although at the moment we're actually running low on influence. Exotic gases. Yeah, no, we can't do that. Is the one that we can do per planet? Can never remember. Decisions. Increased stability, reduces pop growth. That increases amenities. Yeah, there's nothing we can really do. Is that something we actually trade with on the market? Can we get these through trade? We can, but the market isn't unlocked yet. The galactic market has not been founded yet. We only have access to the internal market. That's interesting. I remember the last few games that I've played, you've been able to do this from the start, but that's maybe because I've always sort of picked the like sort of mercantile ones. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll definitely get back to there, but we are at the 30-minute mark now, so I'm definitely going to end the video here. I could quite easily ramble on for another 20 and carry on playing, but gotta put a stop to it somewhere. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you are still enjoying Stellaris. I will see you on the next video, and until then, goodbye for now.